What's up, social media, Facebook, YouTube, whoever's watching, Past the Wives Connection. So I'm gonna do this, and the ladies kind of they wasn't prepared because I wanted it to be authentic. I kind of told them, and I have some of the ladies here. Hopefully, the other ladies would join in with us to be a part of this. But this is the Pastor's Wife Connection. You can't see their faces, but I'm gonna get them to go off mute, and they're gonna tell you a little bit about themselves, and then we're gonna talk about a little bit about uh, the Pastor's Wife mentorship, the Butterfly Academy mentorship. We have been in 3 months of surgery together, I believe, growing together, learning together. I've learned so much with these amazing ladies that has been life changing for me, which has catapulted me to do some things different, to do some things better, and to become a better pastor's wife for my family, for my church, just for those that are connected to me, becoming that better. But I want to introduce them. I don't want to keep y'all long, so I'm just going to do this really, really quick as we chop it up after I stop the recording. So I want to introduce, let me start off with my spiritual daughter. Let me add her, Lady Davis. Introduce yourself. Tell them a little bit about yourself, about your church, all that great stuff. And then we're going to go to the next person.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Lady Tina Davis in Conroe, Texas. Mind of Christ Outreach and Worship Center is the name of my church. My husband and I co-pastor. We pastor the church together, founded by him, Pastor Marlon Davis Sr. So out of Conroe, Texas, and excited to be a part of the Pastor's Wife Masterclass, the Butterfly Academy experience. Has truly been a blessing to me. And so I encourage everyone to be a part, get connected, as this is very beneficial for. I believe personally your growth as a pastor's wife as well. This is an excellent opportunity for you to connect with other pastors' wives who, in part, share the same goal and vision and purpose as you are. There's a healthy camaraderie here that happens within the group. There has been wonderful times of connection. We've shared together. We've shed tears together. We've laughed together. We've shared just a lot of interpersonal type things that we've been able to glow and grow and push forward through together. We've also been able to collaborate here in this space. And so this is a healthy environment to be in. If you're a pastor's wife or an up and coming pastor's wife, it's great to have as you are moving forward in that space in ministry. So thank you for allowing me to share, Pastor Tonya.
Thank you. I'm so glad you did it that way. That's what we go. That's the way we're gonna go. Lady Perez, can you share kind of what she shared or what, why they need to join a pastor's wife mentorship next year after she's finished. So kind of share with them your name and where you're from and all that great stuff.
Okay, my name is Colleen Perez. I live in Mexico, and I joined this group because I was really looking for direction as a pastor's wife. I was feeling really lonely and insecure as my role as a pastor's wife. Um, we run a church here in Mexico in northern Baja California in the Valley of Mexicali, and we run an orphanage, and I have two children, 21 and 16. So, and I've been just in a process of healing physically, spiritually, and emotionally, and I think this class really helped me open up my heart and my spirit to where I was lacking, where I needed to make changes. I felt the encouragement from other pastors' wives to make different changes, and it has bettered my marriage, my ministry, and my family life. And I've been sick through the whole process, but I have been definitely learning, and I know God's going to use it for His glory at some point. But I would definitely tell all pastors' wives to take this class. Why? Because, like Tonya said, there is no instructions in the Bible as pastors' wives. There isn't a lot of, there's things that say about what women should do and how they should be and everything. But being a pastor's wife is just, you're in the fire all the time, and you're in the front row, and you're in spiritual battle, and sometimes it just gets really overwhelming and lonely. And in this class, you feel totally encouraged, and you're given tools how to deal with different circumstances and seasons of your life that you've been through, so you can go forward instead of being stuck where you're at.
Thank
So that's
you,
what I would
Lady
say.
Perez. All right, Lady Trivia. I'm going to let you, do your thing, girl. Do your thing.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I am from Baltimore, Maryland. I am the pastor's wife of Grace Beyond the Walls Church, and we have been in ministry. Well, we started our church in 2010, and it has been nothing but a joy, to say the least. However, I wish that there was a butterfly connection during the time that I became a pastor's wife, because it would have taken a lot of stress off of me and my husband, and I probably would have been a better pastor's wife. And that's no exaggeration, because when I became a pastor's wife, I didn't have a clue of what it was, because most of my pastors as a child was women. So to get into the state that I came into, where it was non-traditional, because my church has more men than women, and just all of the different things that I had to contend with, I didn't know how to. So although I wasn't a ratchet person, I learned how to be ratchet. And again, if I had something like the Butterfly Academy move from the onset, it would have helped me tremendously. Since I started this class 3 months ago, however, I've already gone through the cycles. It allowed me to revisit where I came from. It allowed me to be a better pastor's wife to my husband. And it has taught me a lot of things about myself. So much so, I mean, I was able to cry some things out, but I was able to address some things. I was able to reflect on moving forward and how to allow God to make ministry for me and not allow the church to make ministry for me. I also began to walk in things that I didn't think that I could, because I was already a business owner, but I learned how to trust myself enough to be a business owner and not to allow the church folk to tell me that it's not okay to make money.
Come on.
Whereas though I gave away so much, and now I'm okay with saying there is a fee for my services. And there was a lot of things that I just did not contribute to being a pastor's wife that fell in line and made a lot of sense within that 3 months. I'm sad that the 3 months is over. However, when God affords me the opportunity, I definitely am going to bless other women, pastor wives, to be able to take this course as well, because I mean, the connection that my husband and I made from the beginning up until now has been tremendous. And just a quick testimony, I've always been the person that did not feel worthy enough to speak. In my almost 10 years of being a pastor's wife, I think I've only asked my husband to speak twice. And just today, Sunday, I felt like God was telling me to speak for Father's Day. And something was like, no. So I dumbed it down and gave myself all the reasons why not to ask. And then today I said, well, would you like me to speak for Father's Day? And he was like, okay. I never thought about it. So I told him what happened. And he was like, please don't ever dumb yourself down to not ask what you want. So when I tell you, just from the beginning of this Butterfly Academy to now, God has opened up some things in me and allowed me to receive the calling that he has on my life.
So you know I want to holler, right? Oh my God. Okay, I'm so excited about Father's Day. Like, I know Lady Davis, Lady Perez. I know Lady Moore, if she was on here. Lady O, if she was on here, they would be so excited because we know the journey. So I'm beyond excited. That to me, that's a great takeaway. Hey, that's the best takeaway. They're clapping if you can't see. Best takeaway ever is that part. So I want to ask this question. Excuse me. Is Lady Perez, what is your takeaway? Okay, I think she paused. Excuse me, y'all. I'm choking. I'm overwhelmed because I'm trying not to cry and trying to keep it together. All that great stuff. But Lady Davis, what is one takeaway that you would take out of the 3 months of being in this?
This pastor's wife masterclass, the Butterfly Academy experience, one word, necessary.
Oh wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. I love it.
Yes, ma'am.
It's necessary. Why would you say that?
It's necessary because, you know, working through and trying to navigate some of the pitfalls is not all bad because it's a very fulfilling role and a fulfilling space to be in as a pastor's wife. I love it. Um, and as I mentioned, it's very fulfilling. So I enjoy serving God in this capacity. But then there are those moments in which you need guidance, and especially with those things that you hadn't faced before as a pastor's wife. And so being connected to this group affords you an opportunity to fellowship and share your experience, and then also glean from other pastors' wives who have been where you are and can provide the wisdom and the insight and the knowledge, clarity, if you will, and even direction on how to effectively and confidently navigate through whatever issue that you're dealing with. And then also, Pastor Tonya, with the wisdom that you've given us and the pouring out that's happened in this space. Thank you for going through everything that you went through to pour into us. Thank you for your yes. You've shared your experiences. You've shared the different things that were birthed out through your experiences. So thank you for going through and coming out on this side of your journey so that you could be that model. Thank you, Lord, so that you can be that model and that example for growing and thriving pastors' wives, such as this group here. So it's necessary because it's needed, and as I mentioned, just the wisdom and the insight and the clarity, the voice of direction that could be gained. Also through this group, I've been able to glean as well from some of the pastors' wives. I've been encouraged. I recall Lady Trivia speaking to that as well. Everything that you could potentially think about needing or desiring as a pastor's wife, this group help meets that need, whether it's a spiritual need, whether it's an emotional need, or whether it's just a wisdom need. you know,
Yeah.
we've talked about things from, pitfalls in ministry. We've talked about um, connecting with our pastor husbands in ministry. We've talked about business in ministry. We've talked about connecting your purpose and your passion, and we've talked about so much. It's necessary. We're not just talking about being a pastor's wife.
That
and
part. Yes.
that part,
Yes. That part.
I believe that the level of teaching, the level of wisdom, and the level of pouring out that's happened in this group has been so balanced because we're more than just our role as pastors' wives. So we've addressed certain gifts and callings and the other purposes on our life aside from a pastor's wife that would help ensure that our lives is more fulfilled. And our lives are maximized because again, we're not just a pastor's wife, we're pastors' wives with purpose. And we have a lot of other things going as well. So yeah, this class, this connection, this group is necessary.
Awesome. Thank you, Lady Davis.
You're
Lady
welcome.
Perez, I know you got stuck a minute ago. What is your takeaway from this class these last 3 months?
My takeaway is that your everyday life leads you to your destiny, that you can use whatever God's doing in your life to share with others, share your story. Every pastor's wife is different, and everybody has their own story. I learned that I have something to offer, and and that I'm valued,
Come
even
on.
though usually the pastor gets all the attention and all the thank yous. God values me and my role
Come
and what
on.
I can do. Yeah, I learned that I'm valued, and that was really I forgot that.
Awesome. Great takeaway. Lastly, Lady Trivia, what is your takeaway from the 3 months? I want you to talk about this takeaway because you are in business. Because, like Lady Davis said, it's just more than just, no, just give your takeaway, baby. I ain't going to take over your takeaway. Do your own takeaway.
Well, I would say that my one takeaway is not to be afraid of God's calling. And it goes along with what Lady Perez said, also along with what Lady Davis said, because I've heard so many times being a pastor's wife, well, being a wife, you don't marry the family, you marry the man, which is absolutely not true. That's the same thing with ministry. You don't marry the pastor or just the pastor, you're married to the church. And when we understand that, it helps us to stick in it, for one, because I can't tell you how many times I said, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this church. These people, this, that, and the third. But when God calls you to marry in the ministry, you're going to face some things, and it just, you have to walk in it graciously, knowing that anything can happen. So for me, being afraid of the calling and what it took was one of the things that I struggled with the most. But when I realized, like Lady Perez said, that I'm valued, I don't have to wait for somebody else to validate me. Even my husband, when I walk in that calling, God opens up doors for everything else. When I trust God to allow me to do the things that He's called me to do in ministry, He's the one that can change the heart of the men and women in the church. He's the one that can change the heart of the pastor. Instead of me saying, this is affecting me, this is bothering me, when I learned to go to God, He began to shift some things. And that's like my real life. And just knowing that even the challenges that I faced in my marriage, because I was saying, you just don't get it. These people are beating me up and you don't get it. I learned to pray to God, and God began to reveal those things to my husband. And it's just so funny because I know that it's not just me. Listening to the other pastor wives in the group throughout this 3 months have let me know you're not the only one in that situation. Just walk in the calling that God called you, and He's going to take care of the rest. And also, as it pertains to my ministry that He's given me with my nonprofit and with my business that I have, when I begin to walk in that calling that He's given me, instead of looking at it as I want it all to myself, God gave it to me. It's a ministry thing. Whether it's with my church, whether it's with other pastor wives, it's all ministry. And when I look at it as ministry, He allows me to walk in it in a way that I've never walked in it before. I've actually gleaned a lot from a lot. I've signed up to do certain things in my business that I would never have signed up to do. And and a couple months ago, I heard the still voice from the Holy Spirit say, while you're worrying about what kind of finances you don't have, every time you worry about the finances you don't have, you begin to panic. But when you begin to trust God with the finances that you don't have, he gives you more. And I'm walking in that understanding that throughout this process, I haven't had a job, but I haven't had a need either. So
Come
God
on.
is really doing a work in me, showing me that he's given me the tools. I just have to walk in that calling.
That part. Come on. And I will say this, and just to close this out, the whole goal this year for the pastor's wife was to show pastor's wives beyond the pulpit, beyond the four walls of a church, but most of all, to see the gift that's in them already. And so I think we've been able to do that. I thank these ladies so much. I thank y'all for just watching and rocking out. Just wanted to do something really, really quick with them. Um, to share what they have learned. I've grown so much with them. I want to say thank y'all so much for giving me the opportunity, for joining this class and being a part of it, but most of all, for sharing tonight, sharing on this, whenever I share it out there, but sharing on this, authentic, I guess you could say, very unorthodox. So I thank you for not being walking in fear, but just sharing your thoughts about this class. But most of all, last but not least, hey, it's not over. I got some amazing things happening because it's my birthday month. Yes, it is. So I have some amazing things happening this month. Join me next week, June the 13th through the 16th. I'm going to be going through the book that they got first. Pastor Wise in this group got it first every day, June 13th through the 16th. I'm going to be talking about this at 8 p.m. And you're going to find out more of what's going to be happening with Pastor Wives that I am planning and other women. This is not just for Pastor Wives. This book is designed for them, but it's also, they're throwing up their books. Y'all can't see it, but they throwing up their books. It's designed for them, but it is also designed for you as a woman. So join us, be a part of that with me. It is free. If you don't have the book, no worries. You just come on. You're gonna want to get it after you listen to what we're talking about and we're discussing. So some of them have read some of it already, and so they're gonna be discussing it with me as we talk about it if they join and be a part of it with me. So until then, y'all can't see it. Take your phones off mute and just kind of throw up your book and say hey so they can see your book.
Hey.
Awesome sauce. Thank y'all so much. Other than that, until next time, remember that you're a product of grace. I'm about to rock out with them for a minute so that we can chop it up and talk as we close out this Butterfly Academy mentorship with Pastor's Wife. Closing out, but then adding some more to it. But you don't want to miss it. June the 13th through the 16th next week. Celebrate with me for my birthday and do what I love, pouring into women and encouraging women. Come be a part. You're a product of grace. Stay blessed and all that you do. And don't forget, see yourself through God's eyes and not people. Bye bye.